Welcome back to the Gen Z Speaks podcast. With me today, a fellow Qadiani. I'm practicing my tonsils, as they call them. Hassan Khan, aspiring comedian. How do you identify yourself? What is your occupation?
Right now, I'm just kind of, living life. I'm trying to figure it out one step at a time because I just graduated, so I'm in that weird space where I'm trying to, do something purposeful, directional. So I'm doing, a little bit of a lot of things, yeah.
So comedy is your passion, or is it your love?
I would say it's one of my passions. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's list off the passions.
Okay, so comedy, right? Talking, just in general. I like
that's comedy. That counts
right?
under comedy.
And then, I guess I'm very politically oriented. I did political science as my major, so I do.
Do you want to be president?
Discussing politics and analyzing politics. Say what again?
Do you want to be president?
No, I don't have a desire.
Would you ever run for public office?
I could see myself potentially in some reality running for a very small local office, but I have no desire or ultimate aim to run for president.
Can you tell us your campaign platform right now?
No, not right now. I think I would need some time for a preamble and to list it all.
Preamble, like the Constitution.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and synthesize it. Yeah.
You kind of remind me of this guy I know in the Artesia City Council, Ali Taj.
No.
Vaguely resembles him.
Is he Pakistani too?
Yeah, he is.
He's a Paki?
Vaguely.
He's a Paki?
He's a
Qadiani. No, he's not.
What is he?
I think he's Shia.
Oh.
He might be. He does come
But he's a Paki, though.
Yeah.
God bless,
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit, bro. Like a younger version.
A younger version of him?
Yeah.
Okay, I see a little
His hair
bit.
You gotta tell me more about him. Maybe
I don't.
He was a
know
mayor of
about him.
Artesia. There you go.
He still is.
All right, I'll just look him up. I'll see his policies.
Yeah,
He's running for state, California state legislature.
Is he?
In the next election.
Good
All
for
right,
him.
interesting.
Yeah.
I'll give him a look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I walked past him the other day.
So let's talk about the election results.
Right. Yeah. That recently happened.
What do you think?
I think it was expected. We've had 10 podcasts on this now.
Yeah.
And I've said every single time I think Trump's going to win.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, my predictions are usually wrong. I'm really bad at predicting things. I'm really bad at guessing or predicting or doing anything like that. So I feel pretty good that I got this one.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we both predicted Trump was going to win.
Yeah.
I was off by 3 states. I did not think he would.
Nevada?
I did not know. Nevada? Yeah, I was
You were blue with Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada. I was off from Nevada. I said Kamala would win, and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. All 3 of them, Trump won. I messed up, bro, because I remember I told you since 1992, the blue wall usually votes together, either Republican or Democrat. You
should use that logic.
I should have used that logic because I was watching a Republican strategist, and he was saying the independent voter in Wisconsin is the same voter in Michigan and Pennsylvania. Like, people there are very similar.
Yeah.
So that's why the results are so, in what's the word I'm looking for? That's why they're so together. Yeah.
Uniform.
That's why they're so uniform. Yeah. Thank you.
The Mike picked up that word.
Yes, sir. It's a good word. Uniform. Yeah.
I want to get credit for the word of the day.
I didn't think he would win so many counties in California. I didn't think he would win.
Yeah, the California one's crazy.
Virginia was
they're
close.
still counting votes right now for California?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, she already conceded the election, though. So.
Well, yeah, it's over. Yeah, it's over.
But, I'll say for my take on it, I didn't actually. Well, okay, I'll be honest. I did expect Kamala to win, right? And
why?
I'm curious. Pretty cynically, because I was thinking, okay, so the Democrats are presiding over the administration that's aiding and abetting a genocide in Palestine, and I didn't see enough pushback, vocally, from establishment Democrats or even people that are hardcore Democrats against it. So for them, it wasn't a red line issue. So I was pretty cynical. I was like, okay, they're going to win the election, and they're going to have no motivation and no incentive to change up their policy, right? So I was pretty cynical about the whole thing. I did not. But, as, time progresses and I get more information, my opinions and predictions change, right? So when the night started and the election counts were starting, Trump was ahead by a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So then I was like, maybe this isn't going to end the way I initially thought it was, right? And I saw your predictions, right? And, all due respect to you, you're a very smart guy. I thought you were going to be wrong and Trump wasn't going to win. Yeah. But you were right. You were right. And the thing is that at the beginning of the night when Trump was leading, right? When Trump was leading, right? I was saying, wouldn't it be funny? Because I was in a Discord watch party of the election, right? So I was saying in the chat, I was like, wouldn't it be funny if Trump won the popular vote but lost the electoral college? That'd be the funniest thing ever. Because last time he lost, he
both times he's lost the popular vote.
You're right, he lost the popular vote, but he won the electoral college. So if he said that the elections were fraudulent, right, and the counts were wrong, he would have to say that he didn't win the popular vote to contest the election. Right. That'd be hilarious. He's like, there's no way I won the popular vote. That'd be funny as hell to hear him say that. But to my surprise, to my astonishment, he absolutely washed. He washed Kamala Harris, landslide victory.
Why an astonishment, though?
I didn't expect him to win the popular vote. I'm going to be honest. I thought it'd be funny, but I didn't think he would win. And if there was a reality where he'd won, which I was willing to believe in some part of my mind, I didn't think it would be by this large a margin. If you combine,
but what's the reason?
What's the reason?
Yeah,
there's a lot of reasons for it.
Well, yeah, give me the reasons.
Okay, so I think me and Ibrahim, and I think you too, I think we all agree on this, that the economy was a big issue for voters, for a lot of
That
voters.
was the biggest one.
The biggest one, right? Yeah, for people that are polled, yes. They were questioned about it, surveyed about it. Yeah, they said, the economy was a huge issue. The thing is that it's not that the Democrats didn't talk about the dire state of the economy right now and how is it affecting people, like everyday people who vote. It's the fact that they weren't pressing the issue enough, at their campaigns.
The Democrats.
Right, the Democrats, they weren't, Kamala's campaign. A lot of times when Kamala was speaking or doing a campaign rally, the focus was a lot of the times based on why Trump was worse, right? It wasn't necessarily she was gearing people up, at least like how I perceived it, that why you should vote for me. It was the same way Biden ran his campaign, why you should vote against Trump, It was more about what the campaign was against more so than what it was for.
And that, you think, in your opinion, that would have been in favor of Kamala?
Yeah. I think if she actually talked about, if she presented her own policies more positively rather than Trump's policies more negatively, I think that would have absolutely favored her a little bit. Not enough to win.
No. So my question, 100%, I agree with you. Yeah. She totally, I think she totally messed up by going totally against Trump. Right. This is why he's bad. This is why he's bad. But my question is, you said you're astonished that Kamala didn't win, but you're saying that she didn't talk about policies enough. So wouldn't that be less astonishment?
Well, okay. So when I said I was astonished, I was more so astonished by the margin that he won at. Right. I was surprised by that. Okay. Not to say that I wasn't willing to accept the possibility. It was just not on the top of the list of things I was expecting.
Gotcha.
So that's what I meant by that. You guys ever hear the term positive freedom and negative freedom? So there's negative forms of freedom, right? Which is freedom without, right? So if you're free, like you're not being oppressed, right? That's a negative freedom. You're free from oppression.
Okay.
You're free from tyranny. You're free from unjust tributes or taxations or whatnot, right? And a positive form of freedom is the freedom to, right? So if like the freedom to eat, the freedom to own a home, the freedom to travel, right? Those are positive forms of freedom because they're the freedoms to do things, right? One is about negation in the negative sense, and one is about affirmation in the positive sense, right? So if there are roads that are free to use, that's a form of positive freedom because it allows you to affirm your freedom to travel, right? If there are negative freedoms, it's free from police brutality or something, you're free from getting beat up, free from impositions. I think with Kamala's strategy, right, there was a lot of emphasis on negative forms of freedom. Freedom from Trump's Project 2025 plan. That was mentioned a lot.
Yeah.
Freedom from, Trump's
Well, also the Republicans, stance on abortion rights and reproductive rights.
Yeah. That was definitely a factor, a variable.
Bro, I told you this. I watched Kamala Harris's rally in Texas. I think it was Houston. The entire I watched a majority of it. I don't know what I was doing with my life at that point. It was 3 hours long.
You watched the whole thing?
I think I watched a majority of it.
Okay.
The one issue they kept on talking about, reproductive rights. And I think I talked about this on the podcast. Yeah. The entire time in a rally, you're talking about reproductive rights, and it's an important issue for a lot of women in the country. Don't get me wrong. But a majority of the country is not thinking about reproductive rights. And they were betting on, like I told you in the last podcast, the Democrats were expecting women to turn out in historic numbers because of this issue, and that simply did not help the Democrats.
Right.
That helped them in 2022, which because it makes sense, right? That's when the Roe v. Wade got overturned. That was
it was more contextually
that
relevant,
was exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So it's been 2 years, and a lot of states have actually passed. A lot of red states have passed legislation that actually protects abortion rights, and a lot of them have not. But you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a pressing issue. It wasn't as pressing as the Democrats were expecting it to be.
Yeah.
And Kamala Harris's campaign overemphasized this issue, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think even more than that, 100%. I think they overemphasize the reproductive rights, but I think what a lot of people were downplaying when it comes to like Trump's viability of winning again is, first off, he has a cult following. It doesn't matter what Trump says; he's literally a convicted felon that he's probably gonna get freed from right now. It doesn't matter. They're going to vote for him, right? Regardless of what he says. Cult followings are like probably the biggest factor in winning anything and being a leader in general, right?
Sure.
To be a successful leader, you need people to believe in you. Whether you're right or you're wrong, doesn't matter. Reproductive rights is also another factor. Way too much emphasis on that. I think there was also and I've told Ibrahim this too. A big factor of why he was voting for Jill Stein was because of the deal in
Gaza,
in Gaza, right? And I think there's way too much emphasis on Gaza as well. I think America holistically, there's not. Of course, there's a lot of noise around Gaza, which is good. There should be a lot of noise around Gaza, right? They should be free from Israel, but it's not a priority of what everybody's thinking about.
For Americans. For most Americans.
Exactly. So there's an overemphasis on that as well. And the last thing I think, too, is Kamala is an extension of Joe Biden. Regardless, she's Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, whatever, she's an extension. People were not happy with Joe Biden at all. Less happy with Joe Biden than they were with Trump. So, Trump won.
Exit polls showed the disapproval rating for Joe Biden was 58%.
Huge.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
People saying like Joe Biden should have just not dropped out. You think this was a landslide? Trump could have technically won Virginia if Joe Biden.
Do you think Kamala got more votes than Biden would have if he stayed?
100%. Yeah,
Okay.
100%. It wasn't even close. Like
Yeah.
they would have lost Virginia if Joe Biden was on the ballot.
I want to speak on what both of you said because I think you guys made some pretty good points about abortion being centered and also the situation in Palestine and how it affected voters. I'll say this about Palestine, right?
Yeah.
So if you, I'm sure you guys know this, but for people that don't, if you do the math, if you combined all third-party votes, not just Green Party, but also Libertarian Party, and you gave that all to Kamala, she still would have lost by a large margin against Trump.
It was only 1.2 million.
It was a pretty decisive victory for Trump, both in the popular vote and the Electoral College. And with Palestine, again, like I'm a bit, I guess, cynical because of what I've seen, is that, Palestine, unfortunately for most Americans, wasn't that pressing of an issue. Not to say that they don't care about it, it's just that they prioritize other things first. So with abortion, right? If you guys looked at the demographic data for who voted for which candidate, white women overwhelmingly voted for Trump. Yeah. Overwhelmingly. White women are
suburban white women.
White women are a pretty underreported on demographic of voters, I think. They're not talked about enough. But the white
Give the white women them rights. Give the Karens the rights, bro. They need attention.
Underreported.
These guys are not maybe underreported isn't the right word. It's not talked about enough. Like on mainstream media, the coverage of it isn't talked about. There's not enough discourse around it.
Okay.
The white women, right? They like in over 70% of them, they voted for Trump. And the thing is that it's not that those white women don't care about abortion necessarily. I'm sure a lot of them are pro-life, I'm sure. But I'm sure some of them have to be. It's statistically impossible that none of them are pro-choice. But the thing is, for them, even though they're women, they did not, the other issues on the table mattered more to them than abortion. And I'm being descriptive here, not prescriptive. I'm not saying this is what I want. That is not how I want the arrangement of priorities to be. It's just, unfortunately, in the mind of voters, that's how it is,
I don't know, bro. I think it's, rather than just this right or that right or these are more important than this, people are very general. They have all these issues going on in their life, right? And it's almost like a sphere. And you can't put an emphasis on one side of the sphere because it's round, right? Everyone has this sphere in their life, and they're thinking about all these issues. And with all these issues, then it turns out to be like this, I lean more this way than that way, rather than just this one issue, I go this way, so I'm going to vote Democrat or I'm going to vote Republican. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like this was more important than this.
I think, but eventually people do have to prioritize, right? Like, it's like if you have to,
I don't know if it's a priority.
It's like, because think of it this way, right? If someone is both pro-choice, but they also want grocery prices to go down, right? and where do you think who do you think which candidate
the economy's going to win?
Yeah, is stronger on one issue than the other, right?
Yeah.
Even though you care about both issues, but one candidate is stronger on the other, puts more emphasis.
But there's so many more issues in this.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
But in this case, Trump cared more about the economy, right?
Yeah,
than
true.
abortion, and Kamala cared more about abortion than the economy. So if you were one of those people, one of those median voters, who do you think you'd have to go for if you had to vote for one, right? Think about it.
No, I get what you're saying. I just disagree that people are thinking in either economy or reproductive rights. I just don't think people are thinking like that.
I don't think they're thinking like that either. I don't think it's like a binary. Heads. It's just that for once, like one is more of an immediacy. You know, one is more of an immediate concern for them, right? Which is grocery prices, because people need to buy groceries all the time.
Yeah,
that doesn't. You know what I mean? Like they have to buy groceries.
No, it's definitely important.
Yeah,
80% of Americans think it's the most important.
Too, everything revolving around prices. You know. And it's, you know...
another thing about Trump is this is something I've been hearing more after he's won, actually. People say, they're like, well, he won. I know he's done all these bad things, but he's still human. Everyone makes mistakes. People, like, they start humanizing him. They've humanized him so much that, because it's true, everyone makes mistakes. We probably have said things that we shouldn't have said. Maybe we didn't say it on camera or on audio, right?
Not like Trump, yeah.
Maybe, bro. Maybe. The average person, I think, says things they definitely should not have said. And they try to overhype themselves, or they try to say something to make themselves bigger than they are, whatever it may be. And people understand that that's just what a real human person does. Maybe it's not right, but they still do that kind of stuff.
I think what's interesting about that, right, is that when Trump was shot, right?
Yeah.
I think the language that was used afterwards was just pretty interesting, right? I'm not making my own a position on it, you know, for safety concerns, but I'll just say this, right?
Safety concerns,
because I don't want to get knocked. I don't want to get a knock on the door from the Secret Service, so I don't want to get misconstrued or misrepresented. But
I thought you were the danger,
no,
bro.
Relax, bro. I was not. I was never the danger.
Saying you had a hand? Did you have a hand in Butler?
Shut the fuck up. All right, no. You're trying to get me. You're trying to get me implicated, bro. No. Okay.
He was the mastermind.
No, I was not. I was not.
Thomas was just the soldier.
Danger, bro. You're the Walter White.
He was the guy on the roof. No, I'm kidding.
The brown man was the master, and the white guy was the
classic terrorist.
No. That's why he missed, right? No. So basically, but it's just because what's interesting is that a lot of the people that I talk to that dislike Trump, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they don't have valid reasons for it, but they hate Trump a lot, and they say, oh, he's like a Nazi, right? They use language like equating him to like Hitler, right? They're like, he's the second coming of Hitler. Right? So the thing is, when he was shot, right? Like, and he survived, they were like, oh, politics aside, I wish him well. I hope he has a full speed recovery. I'm just saying the logic doesn't track, because if you believe Trump is Hitler, you shouldn't be wishing him well. It makes it sound like you're saying if Hitler was shot, you'd be wishing him well, because it's just... Either you gotta be consistent or just don't use the language of calling someone Hitler.
I don't think he's anywhere near Hitler. I don't think that makes sense at all when people say that.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that because I don't want to get misconstrued. But I'm saying
Do you
that
think
people
Trump is
said that. No. We're not getting into that. I don't want to.
No, I'm just asking. In your opinion, do you think Donald Trump is Hitler-like? Is he closer to Hitler, or?
So I think the question is weird and it's hard to answer like with one succinct answer, because everybody has similarities with people that were in power at one point once they come in power. That's
so you're saying all of us have similarities to Hitler?
No. I'm just saying.
What are you trying to say, man?
Dude, I don't. Yeah, you put me in.
I am nothing like Hitler.
Well,
just so you know.
It's your opinion. It's your opinion. We live in a free country. If you think Donald Trump's Hitler, it's okay.
My point was that.
Yeah, if you think he is, it's totally fine.
No, okay. I'll just say this. I dislike Trump, and I just want to leave it at that.
We're not fans of Trump.
I know you're not Hindu, bro, but if you think he's a resurrection of Hitler.
No, it isn't. How's Modi doing? I'd actually love to have that conversation about Modi instead, because I don't live in India, so there'd be less repercussions.
Whoa, no one's coming after you, bro. Don't worry.
No one's coming after Modi? Come on.
No, I'm saying no one's coming after you. Don't worry.
No.
We'll
what do you think
be
about
fine.
Modi? No, I'm kidding. Do you have any opinions? Nah.
No, I don't really have.
Nah, okay. Because people say Modi's similar to Trump.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
No, personality-wise, they're very different people.
No, personality. No,
politics.
I'm talking about policy, rhetoric, anything.
You could say they're closer, sure, but
right-wing populism.
I don't know if Modi's a populist guy.
I'll say this. I'll say I think Trump's a right-wing populist in my opinion. right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
that's what I'll say. That's what I'll say. Right?
There's nothing wrong with populism. I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. Not inherently, not by default. I'm just.
But once the populism becomes xenophobic, once it becomes like
Murders.
something extreme, like something cult-like, then there's a problem for sure. Because then it's not a populism political movement; it's more so a cultural movement. You know.
Right. Yeah.
I do want to talk about the Trump assassination.
Wait, can I? Let me draw one other conclusion to the assassination.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be more cult-like if there was, since there was a attack on Trump from the Democratic Party? Isn't there more like a Hitler
Well, no,
draw
because
there?
the guy who shot him was a registered Republican.
Yeah, he was.
He was. So then what was? So we don't know.
We
yet,
don't know
huh?
his motive. They're still investigating.
but
Even Don Trump Jr., his son, said
the thing
he doesn't know.
is that he's dead. So the shooter is dead.
Yeah.
So it's impossible
We've
to
talked
get,
about
you know?
this. He was a knucklehead.
Yeah.
You look at the guy.
Of course, but there has to be a reason.
But he was in the
bro.
Black Rock video. No, I'm kidding.
He wanted to make something of himself. He was bullied at school.
But why not go for Kamala?
Because Trump was already president. You
To
could say
be
you killed the president. You're gonna brag, oh, I killed the vice president.
I guess so.
What are you gonna say? You know.
I mean,
I don't know.
fair,
I don't know if that's
no,
enough.
to be
There's something
fair,
else going on.
Right
wait, since
now,
you plotted the whole thing, why don't you tell us? Like,
No,
what
I
happened?
didn't plot it, dude.
You are the danger.
Oh,
So the Trump assassination attempt,
bro,
is,
it's
I think
Uh-huh.
the election. Like Bill Burr did his monologue on SNL. He
Yeah.
said the election was pretty much over when somebody shot him. Because like.
Yeah.
It
should be that way.
And especially what Trump did afterwards. I don't care if you hate him, you love him. What he did afterwards is very bold. There's an active shooter out there, and the man's first move is, "Oh my God,
fisting,
I'm gonna put up my fist and say fight, fight, fight." And the blood dripping down his face. I'm sorry to say. I don't think most political candidates would do that.
It goes hard. It
Yeah.
goes hard, right? Like
It goes harder than hard,
I will
bro.
say this. I was at a Hot Topic when I learned about that shooting. I'm not kidding. You
were at a what?
I couldn't have been there. I have witnesses. Shut the fuck up. No, but basically, I was. Or was it a Hot Topic?
Most masterminds would do.
Yeah,
they would create an alibi.
All the masterminds meet up at Hot Topic to discuss their plans, dude.
Maybe.
I'm just surprised by how you keep bringing it up.
No, because you guys are staying on the topic. Yeah. But
I
I'll
just
say this,
briefly mentioned
alibis
it.
are good, bro. Alibis are good.
For sure. But basically, what you said was interesting, right? What he did afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Because I heard a lot of people. I'm not gonna lie. It looks kind of weird because I'm thinking the security is a little weird that they let him poke his head out because he just got shot. They huddle around.
They tried to put his fist down, but come on, bro. You're gonna let him do his thing.
They're gonna overpower. The 70-year-old man is gonna overpower his own security to keep his head up.
Yes,
come on.
that
After
is the
being
story
shot?
of Donald Trump, honestly, because there's people around him. If you look at him since 2016, that tell him to do this thing, do that, and he's like, if he truly believes in something, he's not gonna stop.
Right.
And I think it's helped him in politics.
He was talking about physical overpowering.
Physical overpowering.
Yeah, because
he's a
like
pretty big guy, 6'2",
He's
280 pounds.
No, I don't think it boils down to that, though. I think you're right. They can definitely overpower Donald Trump physically.
Yeah.
But as your boss is trying to stand up and do a marketing effort, I think as a Secret Service man, you're gonna be like, okay, he's trying to do something here.
Okay, all right.
They know who Trump is.
And I think by that time the guy was already dead.
Right.
They already
knew
killed
about
him.
it.
So they already knew shooters down. Shooters down.
I guess my question is, if I was head of security at the time, right? What I would do, I'd be thinking ahead. I'd be thinking, okay, let's be more cautious now, not less cautious, right?
Fair.
I know we didn't even expect the shooter to begin with.
Yeah.
So the fact that we can't just go like off the information that we have, we also got to be 2 steps ahead. Yeah, the shooter died, but is there a second shooter? Did he plan this with somebody else? Is there someone working in the crowd? You know,
well,
something
she
like
was
that.
pretty much let go.
So let's flip it. Let's say Kamala Harris gets shot and she does the same thing. That, in my opinion, would have. I'm not saying would have won. Okay. I'm saying it would have helped her more than anything else that she did during the campaign.
Okay, yeah.
Like I think that.
I think she probably needed it more than him.
Yes, you're right. Yeah. If Trump didn't get shot and Kamala did, exact same script. Like she goes up, fight, blood dripping down her hands. I think. Honestly, bro, that's badass. That is sick.
You're saying it's badass no matter who does it.
That'd be
you know?
crazy.
Yeah,
bro,
you were
what
about
are you
to
trying
say
to
girl
say?
boss. It was going to be the definitive girl boss
If a
moment.
girl did it, that'd be badass.
Right. It'd be the girl boss moment.
I don't like this.
It was badass.
I just
regardless.
talked about.
You don't like the word girl boss?
I don't like it.
Either, dude. I think it's just funny sounding, so I'll use it.
No, it's fair. I get it's a thing going around, but my girlfriend's sister was saying something about girl boss, and she was like, "You're a boy boss, Matt." And I'm like, "I'm just a boss. I don't need to be gendered. Like, I'm just a boss. I don't need a boy in front of me. Why do you need a girl in front of you?"
What about another gender-neutral term for a boss? Boss baby.
Boss baby?
That sounds worse.
Right? No, the movie.
Boss baby.
Yeah.
My little sister is the boss baby. So
yeah, okay. Fair enough.
She's 2.
Well, why don't you want to be gendered? You don't like being a man?
I'm a fucking dude.
You don't want to put a masculinity touch to it, boy.
I think it's I honestly, I mean, you think so too. I think we all think so. There's two. I don't know about this guy actually, but there's two genders.
I'll say this. I'll say this.
What's up?
About the assassination attempt.
Oh, not about genders?
Oh, no. Because the thing
he agrees there's two genders,
no.
Yes.
Because the thing is, right?
No.
Is that after the assassination attempt, we saw his polls go up. And yeah, Bill Burr said, oh, he won the election, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that he won the election a little bit before, right? And that was, wait a minute. Actually, no, am I getting my timeline mixed up? Did that happen? Because, again, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, and I want to correct myself in real time because I'm not like one of those people.
What were you going to say? Yeah, what's the event?
I was going to say, did that happen before or after the debate? Because
that happened before. So that happened
before
in
the
July.
debate.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say, if that kind of started the path
Hold
for
on,
Trump's
so you're
victory,
saying Joe Biden's debate, right?
Yes.
That happened after the Biden debate.
Yeah.
After...
So after Joe Biden and Donald Trump debated,
then
he got shot.
Yeah.
And then
he debated Kamala?
Then he debated Kamala.
No, I was talking about the Joe Biden debate.
Yeah, that was before the assassination.
Okay. Oh, that was before the...
I'm very sure.
Then I think he kind of won before the assassination.
So the trajectory, yeah.
Because trajectory-wise, right? That the path started, right? Maybe stuff could have happened. Because I did think Kamala was going to win because I thought Kamala would have a better chance than Biden. Because the thing is that even though she didn't have a chance of winning, I realize that now, right? Yeah. Was that Biden was in a state, and I think you guys agree, of like deterioration. You know, he was deteriorating. You know,
yeah.
And I don't mean that like I'm gleeful about it, but it was very visible to everyone. But it was very visible to everyone.
Yeah. There's something wrong with
and in my opinion, it's kind of elder abuse to like force a guy to be president when he's not in a cognitively healthy state, right?
Did you guys see Joe Biden's speech after the election results?
No, I didn't.
Bro, the man was glowing. The man was so happy
that Trump won.
I just think that he finally went to like a neurologist. I've never seen him be more clear in his words. 10-minute speech, bro. He's happy. He's like glowing. I'm not even making this up. Watch the speech, and he's like, I think he was trying to say Kamala Harris, like, how you like them apples now, Kamala? How you like them apples now?
There's stuff
how you like them apples now,
There's stuff
Kamala?
being done behind our like knowledge, bro. A lot being done, dude.
He was still a little old, but he looked happy. He looked very happy.
I'll say this because
there's a reason, right? And I don't think we know
ego,
the reason.
bro. It's his ego.
I think it's bigger than that.
You think he's relieved?
Yeah.
Do you think he's relieved?
Of what?
Of like as in he has a
relieved
sense
of his duties?
Yeah. Like he's
Maybe?
like whatever, right? Don't have to worry about this shit no more. You know, he can worry about his pudding cup. I don't know, but basically, right? No, dude,
or his
he's
ice
old
cream.
as fuck. All right, let him rest. But basically, I was saying, there's like I wrote down like a whole bullet point of like all the stuff Democrats did to kind of run a suicidal election.
Tell us some, yeah. What do you think they did wrong?
So one of the main ones, right? I think this is one of the main ones, and it's not something that could have been solved like that. It was just something they needed to work towards, was that they ran Biden, right? Even when, like, all throughout his 4-year terms, I almost said reign, but his 4-year terms, right? He was in a state of decline, like physically, verbally, vocally, everything. Like, he was gaffe after gaffe, dude, which is, listen, it's overlookable if you're not the most powerful man in the world. The most powerful man in the world, people, voters especially, expect you to speak coherently. That's just it. I'm not saying that's how I want it to be. I'm just saying that's how it is.
No, so, that's how you should want it to be.
But that's the thing. Yeah, if someone has a nuclear launch codes, they should be in a healthy state.
Yeah, they should be able to speak 100%.
So Joe Biden,
they shouldn't be napping at 4 p.m.
It's not. Yeah, I don't think it's ableist.
It was so funny when Trump said it. He's taking his nap at 4 p.m.
Oh my God, dude.
He's a funny guy,
dude,
bro.
No, okay, so the thing is, right, is that there was that one. They didn't, the Democrats decided to not run a primary for a new candidate. They didn't. Right. So we weren't able to gauge a potential replacement's favorability and electability, right? Because they could have gauged it. They could have seen, okay, how well do Democrats respond if we run someone other than Biden? They didn't have a way to properly gauge that because they didn't run a primary, because they didn't want to get rid of Biden, even though most Democrats were kind of pretty vocal, like, dude, Biden sucks right now. Like, it's not that we dislike him necessarily, but he's not going to be fit to win. So that was their first mistake. Then Biden's disastrous debate performance, which kind of, you know, is leading from that initial mistake they made of not dropping him. And that debate performance was so bad, it was so one-sided, right, that even CNN and MSNBC, all these liberal news media outlets with liberal bias, even they were like, dude, Biden.
I thought it was bad, but it was very typical.
Right. I mean, I expected
surprised.
it before, but to be fair, I thought everyone would. Right. I thought because we saw.
No, yeah, we all expected it
before.
I think he did better. Yeah. I think we talked about this. I think he did better in the debate than he had in like normal speeches.
Right.
Prior.
Yeah, but that's still not good enough.
No, hell no.
By proper standards, no. By Biden standards, maybe.
Yeah.
But,
right.
Like, you know.
Yeah, it was a Biden B+.
Right.
Yeah,
yes. Yeah. Oh my God. But what is that? An American F-? What is that? You know.
It's a B+ in Biden's
Yeah. Okay.
books.
Well, but yeah. So that was bad. The debate performance was bad. Then Biden got COVID, dude. So everyone was already saying his health sucks. So what does he do? He gets COVID. Yeah, that's going to help his health, dude. That's going to reassure people's confidence in his health.
And he got COVID after Trump got shot.
Right. Yeah, he thought
Trump's
that was
out there saying fight, and Biden's in his basement
recovering
from COVID.
That was Biden's assassination.
That's really when.
But that was his equivalent.
That was the immune system.
That's not as climactic though, right? That's not as cool.
Well, that's when they pressured Joe Biden.
No,
to drop
dude,
out.
it was donezo by that point because Biden is also a high risker. He's old, right? So those people are the demographic that mostly die from COVID, right? So, like people that are old, people with pre-existing conditions, people that have been sick, like, stuff like that.
People that are overweight.
Right,
right.
Yeah. So there was kind of no choice at that point. But the thing is that I think it was too late at that point. I did, again, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. I did think closer to the election that Kamala was going to win. But at that point, I was thinking to myself, when they first announced that Biden was stepping down and Kamala was replacing him, I was thinking to myself, this is such a bad move because you should have done this earlier. And it's too late now. Because it was 4 months before election, right?
100 days.
That's somewhat above 100 days, a little bit over. Yeah, a little over 100 days. That's not enough time to hype up a candidate, especially one that came in 4th place during her primary.
In 2020.
She wasn't even second or third. She was 4th place. She didn't even win a Democratic nomination in like a primary. So how do we what faith do they have?
I honestly think though, like regardless if they had a primary, let's say Gavin Newsom won, I think Trump would have beat Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, okay, sure.
He would have had a better chance.
But it
would have been closer.
I think he would have been closer. That's
it could have been closer, but you guys have to understand. I mean, you guys know this.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is a once in a lifetime type of candidate.
Yeah,
there's nobody like him.
Yeah.
And his campaign, you have to give him some credit. Yeah, Kamala messed up, the Democrats messed up.
People underrate him constantly.
Hold on, but his campaign was really savvy. Like we've talked about this on the podcast. They strategically did not put Trump in front of CNN, MSNBC, or NBC. Or ABC News as well. Yeah. They were like, we're only going to send this guy to podcasts and Fox News.
Yeah.
And that was brilliant because people got to see the real Donald Trump, the real guy, which is, I mean, if you love him or hate him, he's a charming guy. He's a funny guy. He makes you feel comfortable. He makes you feel good about yourself when you're hanging out with him. And that's what we saw in the Joe Rogan podcast and the Theo Vaughn podcast and the Logan Paul podcast, all these podcasts. Joe Rogan's podcast, 60 million people watched that, 45 on YouTube. And 15 to 20 on Spotify. Yeah. That is way more than the amount of people watch CNN. Like, 100%. That's so much more.
Yeah.
And I think he won independent voters by going on podcasts, sincerely.
That's a medium
shift. My perspective of Donald Trump has changed so much by watching these podcasts. I don't think he's this super evil villain type of guy who's there to destroy America. I don't think that's his ultimate goal. I don't think his ultimate goal is trying to bring fascism in the United States and make us look like West Germany. I don't think that's his ultimate goal. I don't think he's that severe. I think he's a macho guy who doesn't like to be wrong. He's a narcissist for sure. I saw that in the podcast. He's very narcissistic. He's in love with himself. But he's just not as big of a threat as the left pictures or paints him to be. That was my perspective, right, from these podcasts.
I think everyone, if they're not biased, they would perceive it the same exact way because me and you, we could have a different perspective, but we're still here sitting on the same couch, and we're going to have a conversation either way. Most people in life, you're going to disagree with them, but then you'll still have a coffee with them. Yeah. That is most people, unless you are a super, super left or right person and you have blue hair or you're nuts somehow. You know
or
what I'm
green
saying?
hair, yeah.
Or whatever, yeah.
That's
just
the
way.
No hair.
Or no hair, we're right,
Sure.
whatever, right?
I was going to say, when you were talking about Trump, right, I kind of noticed you sounded a little bit like him in the end. Like your impersonation was coming out subconsciously.
Oh, really?
No, I just saw like your lips were like curling in a way that his lips curl. I saw, dude. You were channeling Trump. He was.
Thank you.
That's what
Thank
I mean.
you.
Yeah, I thought he was.
Thank you very much.
I thought you were winding up to start talking like Trump in a second. I was like, dude,
I like
about
this
to have
guy.
a special guest.
I like this guy.
No, I'll say this, right? I'll say this because I don't want to get shot, right? I'm saying this.
Why are you so afraid of getting shot?
I'm making a joke, brother. I'm making a joke, okay? But I'm saying this because I don't want to get.
All right, buddy.
Yeah. I'm saying this because I don't.
I'm feeling a little bit.
No. Okay. I'm saying this.
Check his pockets
danger,
real quick.
bro.
Did we do a security check? No.
Okay.
No,
so anyway,
I'm
saying this, because like what you were saying, right? It's like Trump again. Whether you like him or dislike him, right? Like I for one, I dislike him, right? But I am still willing to admit, because I'm not delusional, right? Is that he won 2 elections, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason he did that. There's a reason. There's a way he did that, right? He is undeniably charming. He's a media personality. He has media. Not only is he media trained, bro, he can train people in media. He probably has already. You know what I mean? This is his world. Going in front of a camera, talking people, convincing people of his ability, his charisma. That's his whole life, dude. He was a TV star for so long.
I think that's just him, though.
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
Why he's that
I'm sure
good.
before he even started doing media, he had like some innate features that.
But
were
that's not like a media personality. I think the people that are most successful, whether it's a personality, actor, whatever it is, it's when you are just yourself. The people that are just themselves, they're the most confident, and when you're confident, you emit charm, right?
And I was gonna say before I forget,
you're unapologetically yourself.
You're unapologetic yourself.
And that's what Donald Trump is.
I was gonna say this. Yeah. I said this to like my brother, right? I was saying, bro, sometimes because Trump is so funny, sometimes that I always say to my brother, bro, I wish he went into comedy. Like I wish he went into just.
He's a funny guy.
Straight up,
because
there was that clip. You guys saw that clip when COVID was like at its height.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a Trump aide like speaking about like COVID signs if you have COVID, right? And Trump is like standing a little bit far away from her, and she's like, Saturday had a little bit of a low-grade fever, and Trump's like, oh, he throws his hands in the air and he leaves the room. That was so funny, dude. That was
a funny guy.
The timing, that was so funny, dude.
He's
when he trashes on other Republicans, that's so funny too. The problem with Ron DeSanctimonious is that he's in desperate need of a personality transplant, and those are not yet available. That was great. That was great. I mean, come on, he should trash on like because he's so funny at it.
He's hilarious. I think that's one of the reasons why he won. It's literally because he's funny, and you know what that does to people? When you accuse Donald Trump of being a crazy person, you're like, no, he's just funny. Because when he says crazy stuff, you're automatically you just become more numb to it.
I'll say this: you can be crazy and funny at the same time.
That wasn't the case.
Yeah, that was not the case.
This guy's a bad dude
because we didn't know him
exactly.
As well.
There wasn't so much coverage on him as there is now. Now that there's so much coverage, it's like, okay, we have all this history of the guy. It's basically we've been drip campaign Donald Trump this entire time, and who his personality is and who he is, right?
And he also has this ability, bro, of speaking simply but to the point. And he'll say phrases that just stick in your mind.
100%,
like in the debate when he was like, you have concepts of a plan. What a beautiful thing to say.
It's hilarious.
I've started to use it in my daily life. My parents ask me, what is your goal with stand-up comedy? I'm like, I have many concepts of a plan. I have many, many concepts of a plan, mama and baba. I'm going to change the whole world. Beautiful. What a beautiful phrase. Thank you, Trump, for using that.
When he said concepts of a plan, I was watching it live, and I said in the chat, I was at Discord watch party of the debate. I said, like me when my professor asked me how far along I am in my essay. Concepts of a plan.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. Yeah, it was such a great quote, too. Yeah.
Yeah, MAGA, make America great again. Yeah. What a...
to be fair, he didn't come up with that. That was
Ronald Reagan. Yeah, that was Reagan.
Yeah.
But did we know that Reagan's...
I didn't know
Okay, you could credit him for the rebranding. You can credit him for that. But I'm just saying...
Sure. That was Reagan. But he made it into MAGA. He made this huge movement.
I hate that phrase, man.
MAGA?
I hate that phrase.
Really?
It sounds weird. MAGA sounds weird.
Make America great again.
It sounds too close to maggot, right?
Maggot? No, I just don't like make America great again. If it's make America great, period, fine. Not again. I'm a nationalist. I think I'm an American regardless of who's president or not. I don't agree with Trump. I don't agree with Biden. But I hope whoever is president is just going to keep growing America. You don't have to knock down the person before you in order to boost yourself up.
Yeah, so it's backwards looking. You want somebody that looks forward.
Yeah.
And not backwards.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Well, not even that. It's just you should at least, maybe this guy messed up, but acknowledge that he was still the leader of the United States of America, and there's reasons why, even though it might have been a mistake, there's reasons why they did what they did. And here's the reasons, but this is why they were wrong. You know what I'm saying?
You have a point, bro. I think every successful politician, though, has a catchphrase.
Right.
Obama's catchphrase was
hope.
"Yes, we can."
Oh, I thought it was hope.
Hope and yes, we can. Right? Like people knew him as "Yes, we can."
What was Kamala's catchphrase?
Yeah, exactly. What was her catchphrase?
Oh, dude, no, Will.i.am.
I'm not Joe Biden. Was that her catchphrase?
Okay.
I'm not Joe Biden.
I think it was closer to I'm not Trump.
I have XX chromosomes.
No, I think it was closer to Trump's, right? Like closer to I'm not Trump. That was more accurate, yeah.
Okay, there you go, yeah.
Will.i.am made a music video. Will.i.am made a music video, released it like a couple of days before the election, right? And it was like, yes, she can, right? That was funny.
Hillary tried to use that.
No, here's the problem though. That it's gotta be more original. You know what I mean? In my opinion. It seems like recycling.
That's a lot of Democrats right now are shying away from blaming Kamala Harris directly.
Dude, that was another thing I put on my list of things that they did wrong was that their inability to look inward for criticism.
100%.
Everything has to come from outside. And listen, in life, there will be things that are other people's fault. 100%.
Amen.
Right? But there are things that when you fail at something because you went a certain route and it doesn't work, it doesn't get the desired result. Is the solution do it again and make no changes? Is that the solution?
Insanity.
Because that's what I was gonna say, bro. Is that Democrats every time they lose, they never learn lessons. Never. And I wish that I'm trying to be constructive here. My favorite type of criticism is constructive criticism. So I'm trying to give Democrats constructive criticism, right? I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm just telling you that if you want to win, you got to change what doesn't work. They keep doing the same tired strategy. One of the things I wrote was that they did the strategy that sometimes works, right? Where they say, vote for me because I'm not the other guy, right? But vote for me because I'm not the other guy only works if you're not the one in power. So right now, people that are voting who are struggling with grocery bills, with electricity bills, working paycheck to paycheck away from poverty.
They don't give a shit.
If you tell them, vote for me because I'm not the other guy, they're thinking, well, you're the guy right now and you suck.
Yeah.
Who else? Because here's the thing. Whether Kamala and Biden are personally responsible to blame for the state of the economy, I personally don't think so. I think the economy is pretty complex and it isn't respondent to a single person, even if they're the president. It's a pretty complex thing.
Tough luck, though.
Yeah, right. I'm saying voters do associate the economy with who's president.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like if the economy is bad right now and Biden is president and Kamala's the VP, who do you think they're going to blame? Are they going to blame Trump? He's not in power right now.
Right.
Right. So I'm saying
I think it is pretty related, though.
Right. Yeah. But I'm saying there's influence for sure. But I'm saying it's not. It's just one piece, right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying
one piece.
Nonetheless, you agree with my point about.
I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Her campaign tried to gaslight America.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why Kamala Harris lost.
Was it something about trying to convince people that they weren't struggling and stuff?
Yeah.
But that's so weird. You can't say that to someone when it's a matter of numbers.
Especially about
numbers
egg prices.
Are pretty.
I was like, Kamala Harris loves making omelets. Don't ask me how I know that. I just know that. But like if she loves making omelets, why hasn't she looked at the prices of eggs? No, I'm actually serious. She loves omelets.
To be fair,
she did this interview with Shannon Sharp. And
again,
maybe I'm
cynical. Maybe I'm cynical, but I think with the price of eggs that she doesn't know that, it just shows how detached she is, how disconnected she is. She's out of touch, right, with the common man.
She didn't know that there's troops out of country right now, bro.
That's
insane.
I honestly, I think she did, but I think usually when presidents are doing stuff overseas that's controversial, they'll shade their language or veil their language a little bit.
Bro, but that's absurd.
No, I agree with you.
It's like
I agree with you.
Even if you know, you don't know. Don't say anything.
She probably
just
knew.
don't say anything.
She probably knew, but she was just.
I'm just saying, regardless if she knew or she didn't know,
she was being
either
dishonest.
Way, exactly. Yeah. Either way, it's a bad look on her. Right?
Absolutely.
So it's like, just shut your mouth, bro.
But
like,
to be
say
fair,
shit.
Yeah, politicians. I'm sorry to say, maybe I'm being cynical, but they're not. Most politicians, not all, aren't exactly in touch with the common man. You know what I mean? They have a lot of privileges that we don't, you know what I mean? So they have aides, they have assistants that get out and buy their eggs for them. So they don't know the price of eggs, bro. That's their assistant's problem. You know what I mean? They give their assistant like
Kamala, you should have went to Trader Joe's and buy some eggs.
Dude,
why didn't you do that, Kamala?
Trump put fries in a bag, bro. Kamala should have done like she worked at a grocery store.
Smart.
Dude, Kamala should have worked at a...
You know what it is, right? He has a young team, it seems like. Their mentality, their personality,
more
they're
tech savvy.
Yes, they have a young mentality, whatever
media
it is.
Savvy,
too, but was it as effective? No, because I don't think they have that young mentality.
Yeah.
They have a more trained mentality. This is how it's been, so this is what we'll do. right? Rather than let's bob and weave, let's try and do things differently. Let's try.
They
to
also
make
have a candidate, in Donald Trump, who's down for anything as long as it makes it look better.
You don't think Kamala would have been down?
To go to McDonald's?
Yeah.
Not McDonald's specifically. Not
she
McDonald's.
Said she worked there.
Yeah, but who would think about going to McDonald's? It's a ridiculous idea.
Smart, bro.
But it's smart.
Yes.
And sometimes the most ridiculous things in politics are the smartest things.
That wasn't
to
even
do.
the first time he did that for the 2016 presidential campaign. He worked at his own hotel. Like, he
did he really?
walked dogs. You can look up this video.
Okay.
He walked dogs. He because one of the services his hotel provides. I don't know how old the service is, but they can walk your dog. So he was like walking dogs. He was in the kitchen. He was like cleaning, like bringing people their laundry. It was stuff like that, And in the video, listen. I think it's a good idea, not when you disparage yourself, but if you're willing to laugh at yourself in like a charming, endearing way, right? So like in the video, he was saying something like, "Oh, she, trusted me with her dog. She probably shouldn't have," right? That comes off as kind of it comes off as humorous, right? It's like if you're willing to bag on yourself just a tiny bit to make people laugh. That's because I do stand up. That's the shit that lands a lot.
Self-deprecation,
self-deprecating humor because it shows that you don't take yourself too seriously and you're willing to laugh at yourself. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people
like laughing at people.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
Love it.
Yeah.
I love laughing at people.
He said this one line at Fox News. They were asking him about Robert F. Kennedy.
Okay.
And Robert F. Kennedy actually sued him back in the day for something environmental related.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And then something happened where his wife was trying to go to Florida and Trump offered to
fly her out?
Fly the whole family out. And then she was like, my husband's suing you. But he was like, I don't care, just come out or something.
That's crazy.
And then they were like, well, how do you deal with people that, everybody's constantly suing you? And he was like, well, if I wouldn't be nice to them or deal with them, I would have nobody to talk to because everybody sues me.
Everybody, yeah. Wow.
Everybody just sues me. He's like, I would have nobody to talk to.
I didn't know about that.
I would have nobody to talk to.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like
that's kind of sad.
No, but it's impressive that you could be cordial with people that are suing you.
Yeah,
that's kind of impressive.
That takes a lot of self-control. I think.
Because dude, if someone's
he said I would have nobody to talk to if I just had.
So many people are suing him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he still has lawsuit because every day you'll hear on the news that some lawsuit gets resolved with him because he's still dealing with a lot of lawsuits and lawsuits take time. Yeah. They could take years potentially. So even if a lawsuit could start when he's not president and end in the middle of his term.
That's why Lamborghini only has 2 seats. When you're at the top, you got nobody to talk to.
Another thing I wrote, of why they botched their campaign, right?
Who's they?
Democrats in general, not just Kamala. Like I'm sure she has a team of Democrats, and they're all pretty incompetent.
Do you think she has any Republicans on her team?
That's what I was going to talk about. That is so crazy. I was literally just going to talk about that. So, Liz Cheney. And Dick Cheney, right? Yeah. Who, in my opinion, is the worst person in America. Yeah, I think the worst person in America is not Donald Trump. I think it's Dick Cheney. Like people are like,
really?
Oh, Trump,
Dick Cheney, the worst person in America
Vice President. He was Vice President. In my
what
opinion.
about the homeless guy?
Nope.
Really?
It's Dick Cheney. Like people say, oh, Trump's the worst, whatever. I'm like, no, it's not. It's Dick Cheney. You know what I mean? But I'll say the second worst is George Bush. And then, but that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. But those are the two of, so.
Are those your next targets? Or?
Shut the fuck up, bro. You're trying to get it. Because, dude, now that you say that, they're going to fucking, you know what I mean?
No one's going to do anything. Relax.
Oh, my God.
No one's coming after.
Oh, my God. I don't.
Wait, you want to give out your address real quick?
Yeah, let me just make a personal statement right now for my fucking legal team, I guess. I'm going to say I do not endorse political assassinations on any candidate.
No, your address so they can come for you.
Living or dead, I'm against it. You know what I mean?
Living or dead.
Yeah. So if someone shoots a grave, right? I can't be implicated now because I just said I don't endorse it. So here we go. I'm covering my tracks. All right. I'm being smart.
Why do you need to cover your tracks?
Oh my God.
Yeah, bro.
No, dude.
You're digging yourself a hole.
How many
Me
alibis?
and Ibrahim are best friends. We live close to each other. What's your address, Ibrahim? We live in the same building, actually.
Yeah, we do.
You guys?
No.
You guys live about 30 minutes away from each other.
Yeah, dude, just giving out too much. No.
One lives in a county that actually voted for Trump, and
no, it wouldn't matter though, because the state went to Kamala.
Sure.
Yeah, but no. So what I was saying before I got sidetracked was that Dick Cheney endorsed her, right? And then Liz Cheney was campaigning with her. Like she was coming with her to all of these events, like they were going on a campaign trail. And their specific campaign, they invested billions of dollars, bro, on a campaign to target and appeal to moderate Republicans, right?
Stupid
they were
move.
chasing the Republican vote. They were saying, oh, screw the progressives, screw everybody who's left of Republicans that are moderate. We're going to spend billions of dollars chasing the Republican vote. Bro, who are Republicans more likely to vote for?
Of course, Trump.
Donald Trump.
Yeah, it's a cult.
And guess what? Guess what the results of this action were? I'm sure you're surprised, but the same number of people that voted for Trump in 2020 voted for Trump in 2024.
Yeah.
The same my bad. The same number of Republicans. Same number of Republicans, if not more. Yeah,
more people voted for Trump.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, so
we talked about this on the podcast.
I'm saying it's a failed strategy. Yeah. The pandering to Republicans, it was a failed strategy because there's not that many Republicans that dislike Trump.
Yeah,
just not that much. It was a failed strategy, dude.
We covered it on the podcast. Like her campaigning with Liz Cheney was stupid.
Yeah, it was
I don't know what she was trying to do.
Dumb, dude. And it's like,
I don't think that's the only reason why she lost. There's a lot of reasons why,
it's a list of reasons.
He's got a list, bro.
Yeah, no,
I don't go down the list.
What point are you on the list?
No, I think. Oh, another one, right?
Yeah.
And this is a fun one, right? You don't have to. This one is not objective. This is just my personal experience. I see that because you were talking about politics and you shouldn't let politics, divide friendships or whatever. I'll say this, right? There's the Republicans, right? That's not me, right?
No, that's my phone. But it's okay.
Anyway, but more Republicans and conservatives or right-leaning people in general that I know, they care about politics a lot, right? And they talk about politics.
More right-leaning?
Yeah. And they talk about politics, like, constantly, right? Liberals that I know, they talk about politics and they care about it, but they kind of care about it the most before Election Day. The problem is Republicans, they maintain the same amount of hype for their candidate, for their politics, right? Up until Election Day versus liberals that kind of teeter, and then when Election Day comes.
What's your size pool for Republicans versus Democrats?
Oh, like in terms of the people that I know?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've never counted the amount of acquaintances that I had.
Are they about the same? Like maybe 10 and 10, or is it less Republicans, more libs?
Okay, I'll say most people that I know, they dislike both parties, right?
Okay.
But
I don't know if that's the case.
No. I'm saying the people that I know. I'm not saying in the world.
Yeah,
I'm just saying they dislike both parties, right? But the people that are vocal about liking one part or the other, most of them that I have come into contact with, that I've encountered, not necessarily people that I've stayed in touch with or anything, they are like Republicans. You know what I mean? Like, and again, this is my personal experience.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, I hear before the Election Day happened, before it was even close, like people would have Trump-themed parties, like in support of Trump, like
it's
raves.
a cult following.
Like raves, stop like the car meetups, all sorts of things that are dedicated.
Trump.
Absolutely, bro. Parties, stuff that are explicitly for the purpose of like celebrating Donald Trump, dude. There's no equivalent amount of hype for any Democrat. None. There's not enough. There's not that many. You could.
For Obama, there once was.
I will say for Obama, I'm sure if there was like a hype party for any candidate that was Democrat, it would be Obama, right? But the thing is, I haven't heard, maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't heard of an Obama-themed party.
I think
I've heard of
way crazy.
Plenty of Trump-themed parties. So I'm saying they're way more enthusiastic.
Yeah.
They care more. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Not necessarily.
It's an ideology. So Trump's created an ideology, and this ideology has stuck with people.
Yeah.
Right?
People like it.
I don't necessarily know if it's Republicans. Like, just I forgot what I was listening to, right? But Trump created this ideology, and even after Trump, this ideology is still going to be
remain.
Here.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was gonna say I wouldn't even say it's because of Trump alone. I'm just saying Republicans, they care about their politics a lot more than liberals, in the sense that they're willing to invest more time in it.
I just think it's a Trump thing. Like Bush's, like they were present, great, amazing, but we don't really think about them
That's
anymore.
right. No, totally.
Even Obama, like he's great, he's Democrat or whatever, but we don't really think about him.
Obama's different and Democratic.
I think Trump ran the populist angle better than Bush, right?
Well,
clearly.
Bush wasn't even a populist.
Yeah, he
was
wasn't.
A
That's
fake
what I'm
populist.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Let me just say something about the MAGA movement.
Right.
You know, if you look at since 2016, when you victimize a group of people for liking somebody, they're just gonna fall in love with this person more.
Oh, when Hillary called them deplorables?
Deplorables basket. You could put half of Trump supporters in a basket of deplorables. That comment. But a lot of people, if you in 2016, I remember this, bro. If you were a Trump supporter, people bagged on you.
100%.
In LA, in our school, you couldn't come out and say you voted for Trump.
We know people that wouldn't say that they were Trump supporters. They just stay quiet.
And that's why all the polls. That's why all the polls got the election wrong in 2016. Nobody expected, because there was a hidden Trump supporter. But now, people have become more vocal in their support of Trump. It's become much more normal, and especially because people perceive Donald Trump to be a victim of the establishment. All all these, like lawsuits against him, his mugshot, his assassination attempt, impeachment. Yeah. Sure, like they think of Donald Trump as oppressed,
the underdog.
And if you look at the history of the world, people that feel victimized go to the utmost lengths to believe in what they believe and actually spread the message more.
I mean, bro, it sounds like you're making parallels between him and the mustache guy.
I mean, if that's the way you want to look at it.
No, because you said the stuff you described applied to him too. Because he was victimized for he perceived himself as being victimized for his beliefs because he would spread
Adolf?
because he would spread his stuff and then he would get politically persecuted.
Let's be real. Adolf, not a great guy, but he was a great marketer.
Dude, that's a crazy that's a crazy quote. Adolf, not a great guy.
Yeah, he's not.
Put that on a t-shirt, bro. Put that on a t-shirt.
But he was a great marketer.
Yeah.
If you want to draw that parallel, draw that parallel.
I was gonna say
Trump doesn't go out murdering people, though.
Right? No,
so that's
not a great guy, but the ops look amazing. The ops are good.
No, this is what I was gonna say earlier, right? What I wanted to clarify was that there are like tools for persuading people that are kind of universal, right? At least in the modern age, at least in the current systems that we're under, right? That like unfortunately they work, like crowd think and everything, like how to speak to a crowd, how to persuade them, how to play on their fears, on their doubts, and also on their insecurities, as well as what they want, their desires, their hopes. I think that's pretty universal, regardless of the particular ideology of the person. Sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what I was trying to get at earlier. Yeah. But
if you look at specifically on the data this year, it's very interesting, bro. Donald Trump outperformed Republicans. So if you look at the House of Representatives, it still has not been called yet. It
hasn't been called yet.
It's too close to call.
Oh. So Trump got more like turnout than like all of the
people. So let's look at North Carolina. North Carolina is a very it's an anomaly because remember the guy who was running for governor, Republican governor? He called himself the Black Nazi. He was being Carolina, weird. And
it was pretty swing, no?
For when it comes to Harrison Trump, but when you look at the governor,
Republican.
Bro, no, Democrat. They voted a Democrat governor, Josh Stein. He won.
That's the guy that had the issues, no?
No, the Republican had the issues.
Oh, got it. Okay,
yeah. So my point is people. I don't think this election proved that the Democratic Party is done. It's over. That people just hate Democrats.
No.
I think it just proved. I think it just proved that
Donald Trump. They ran a bad campaign this time, though.
Yeah, sure, but I think it proves that people just sided more with Trump, and Trump was such a powerful figure that independent people were like, enough of this, and hold on, let me finish. Enough of this, and they were like, Donald Trump is our guy. And I think that's what happened this election cycle. Because if you look at the House races, the Democrats actually flipped some of them. So which means like they were red and then they flipped them blue. Mm-hmm. And it's still too close to call. So I don't think it was a landslide when it comes down to, down the ballot races, specifically congressional races, because it's still too close to call.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That kind of I think goes back to my point. I don't consider Trump really like this Republican figure. I think he's just in his own league.
Exactly.
And he's calling himself Republican. That's it.
It's kind of the opposite. Like Republicans have kind of tailored themselves to him. They kind of like modeled their strategy after him.
Some of them have.
Yeah. No,
that shows you his power.
Yeah.
He's so influential.
I was gonna say less people in general voted this election than 2020.
They did, right?
Yeah, they did. Less people voted for Trump this time than they voted for Trump last time.
There was just less votes in general,
There was less votes in general, yeah.
In this election cycle?
There was. You can look into it, yeah.
20 million.
There was, because Trump and Biden were in the 70s, both of them. But Trump this election was in the, 60s?
I think it was 69.
60s. Yeah, and then she was like, So I'm saying less people.
5 million difference.
Yeah, 5 million difference at least. But yeah, you can look it up totally, but for sure. But I'm saying less people voted in general this election. Why do you think that is?
Okay, this is again, I guess it's subjective, but a lot of people that I know didn't like either candidate, and I don't like either candidate.
Same.
I went independent, so I voted independent.
Same.
And I think that was a huge factor. People didn't like the options on this race. And instead of saying, hey, I'm going to do a protest vote just like we did, what they did was, hey, it doesn't matter.
So
they're
both nobody. Yeah.
Exactly. So just don't vote. It's not important.
I guess it's less effort, right? Yeah. For the same outcome.
It's just they feel exhausted. A lot of people feel exhausted, and I just don't think it's okay to give up. That's my opinion. It's not okay to give up. If you want to do something, go out and do it, right? It takes a day to go. It takes what you voted 20 minutes. Took me 2 hours, but 20 minutes. Go in there, write your person. Doesn't matter who it is. I even told some people in my family, I was like, even if you don't like the independents, doesn't matter. Go write one of our family members in. Go write somebody's name in.
Yeah.
At least exercise your right to vote. It's a privilege.
No.
That we. How many people have died just for us to be able to continue this privilege of choosing who's in charge right now?
Agreed.
Millions, hundreds of millions of people have died for this, right? It's like, go fucking do it.
That's what Jill Stein said, right? She was like saying that people feel betrayed by the two-party system.
People do. Yeah, she's right.
Yeah.
That's her biggest thing, I think, right, Jill? It's the two-party system is jacked.
I just looked it up. You guys were right. So 155 million people voted in 2020, and 145 million people voted.
That's a drop.
I thought it was
That's
20,
a drop.
No, but that's a drop by 10
That's
million. That's
massive.
a considerable drop.
That's a drop, yeah.
But it also makes sense. And Joe Rogan was talking about this on his podcast. People were home during the pandemic in 2020. They didn't have as many things to do.
So the voting was like an outing, right? It was like an outing.
Well, let me just spare my time and actually look at this stuff.
Maybe.
I would have
probably was part of it.
That's crazy because to me, I would have thought like maybe initially it'd be the opposite, right? Because it's like, oh, people are home and they're not doing anything else, and then therefore like, and somehow that's the time where more people voted. You know?
Can you check 2016?
Yeah, I'm interested.
It was less than 2020.
It was less than 2020.
Yeah, but that makes sense though, right?
Because
2020 was a historic year for voting.
No, but that one's more interesting, right? Because I mean, not more, but more
what?
predictable, right?
Yeah.
Because as time goes, more people become adults, right? As like more election cycles happen. It happens every 4 years, presidential election. So more
the population goes up.
Yeah, no, the voting population goes up, right? Because 14-year-olds turn into 18-year-olds.
Not in Japan.
Okay, whatever. Basically,
2016 was low.
What was it?
127 million people.
But how many? That's like
like 25%.
Yeah. 2020 was the highest we've ever gotten.
But yeah, I guess after 4 years of Biden, right after 4 years of Trump, if you didn't like Trump or Biden, maybe you feel absolutely depleted. Maybe you feel absolutely.
A lot of people do, man.
No, I get you, man. I'm with you on the hope thing. I'm with you on optimism. I'm with you 100% there. I'm just saying I am empathetic for people that just maybe aren't aware they have other options. Because a lot of people are not intentionally misled necessarily, but they are led to believe there's only two options.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
So my family asks everyone asks who you're voting for, right? Everyone in your family, whether it's extended or not. People ask me, and I said neither. And they're like, so what are you going to do? You're not going to vote? And I'm like, no, I'm voting, but I'm going for, and I voted for RFK. So I said I'm voting independent. And they're like, why would you do that? And it's like, and then I explained the whole spiel that I just gave, right? But you're right. A lot of people don't even know other people on the ballot.
They were,
to be fair, right? In 2018, I think it was a local election or something. Obviously, I know who the two main guys are, right? For what it was, senator or whatever it was, right? I didn't know anybody else, even local government, like even in Downey. I didn't know any of the other people. I just knew one or two names on there. And it's like, why? Why? Because there's no money in it for the independents. And why is there no money in it? Because there's big money backing the two guys
parties,
that are going to win,
yeah.
right? So that's my point. People don't know about this stuff because there's no marketing efforts for it, right?
Yeah.
But I think what's happening is we're in a pivotal time right now where people are realizing that this two-party system isn't cutting it. Okay, more of us are going. I think a lot of people, just like him. I don't know if you've done this as well, but I'm voicing it to as many people as I can. Hey, I'm going independent because of these reasons. And maybe they're not going to get it this time. Maybe they're not going to do it this time. But next time, if I say it again, slowly, it's a drip campaign. I'm drip campaigning them.
Right.
I've been saying this word a lot recently.
Cumulative.
It's a cumulative
drip
thing.
campaign.
Cumulative effort. Cumulative.
Yeah, that's
effort.
what politicians do. They say it's the same thing over and over, and then people start to believe it slowly.
Right.
Exactly. That's the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, no. When I tell people like, oh, I'm not voting for either candidate, their first immediate thought is, oh, you're not voting at all.
Who did you vote for?
I voted for Jill Stein.
Jill?
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I was
because she was on the Gen Z Speaks.
Yeah, of course. As soon
that
as
podcast flips your vote. Yeah,
there we go.
They got your two's endorsement. I was like, oh my gosh.
Hold on, we didn't
No, you endorsed her, bro. It's too late.
I voted for her.
It's too late, bro.
Yeah, I voted for her.
Yo, you're trying to get me on the Trump thing. I'm trying to get you on the Jill Stein thing.
I mean, again, I don't care. I mean, we have green.
Shit, there's no consequences for that.
We have green right here, bro.
Yo, Russian puppet.
No, because it's a big, it's a big thing when you endorse somebody publicly. We didn't do that.
I get you. Yeah. I was being like silly, but basically, I was like saying, when you tell people that, they're like shocked, right?
Yeah.
They don't even know that there is a third option. You know what I mean?
People, that's the two-party system working together to brainwash everybody.
Yeah.
So that they don't have competition. You know what's crazy, bro? RFK got as many votes as Jill Stein, and he dropped out. He endorsed Trump.
Yeah.
So I actually think one of the reasons why Donald Trump won is because RFK dropped out. I think that would have swayed the election
100%.
results a lot.
A lot of people like the guy, man.
Bro, he dropped out and he still got as many votes as Jill Stein. That's crazy.
Here's the thing. It's only under the assumption that those RFK voters, had they not voted for RFK, they wouldn't have voted for Trump. But I think a lot of RFK voters have a lot of overlap with Trump. I do.
Yeah, that's why. Well, 100%. Yeah.
I think I'm tracing what you just said. You're saying if RFK wasn't running initially, all those people would have been Trump guys?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because look, RFK is like how I would describe it. You don't have to agree with me here, but I think RFK is like an independent Trump-like person. You know what I mean? Like not personality, but like the rhetoric of anti-establishment. Going up against like the elites of Washington and such, draining the swamp, all the rhetoric and stuff that he used. I think it does appeal to people that would normally vote for Trump. That's why I believe that. But ultimately, it kind of doesn't matter because, again, if you combine all the third-party voters, including RFK, and still gave it to Kamala, she was still losing.
Yeah. I disagree a little bit because I do think RFK was able to get people from both sides. Because remember, he was a Democrat. He was a registered Democrat. He was running the Democratic primary, and Joe Biden single-handedly said, "Nope, I'm not going to run against anybody." Right. It's just me, myself, and I.
Yeah, that's why he
in my little basement.
Independent.
I will say though, some Democrats vote for Trump though, so I think the Democrats that would vote for RFK, post.
If he stayed in fully, he would have got way more votes.
100%, dude. He dropped out and he still got 650,000.
Do you think a lot of the people, because he does have a lot of old, voter bases? Do you think a lot of them
RFK?
Didn't know?
I think younger.
I don't.
Younger too, but he has old people too.
Well, I don't know
the numbers. I don't know his demographic.
I just know he's on a lot of podcasts.
Some people voted for him not knowing that he dropped out, or do you think they were protest votes?
No, they just didn't like Trump.
Yeah, so it was protest votes.
That was this guy,
that's
right?
Me.
That's
him.
him.
Trump, that's why I voted.
Okay, all right.
Because people forget Donald Trump is not this unifying guy. We'll see if he is this time around, but he's not like a Ronald Reagan. He's not like a Barack Obama. Barack Obama in 2008, that was a true landslide.
Yeah.
Where you won
a lot of black Republicans voted for him.
This time around.
In 2008 for Obama.
Sure, yeah. But this time around, guess what happened amongst black men, amongst Latino men?
Went for Trump.
A lot of them, like, not majority of black men, but, dude, he got like 20 points amongst black men. That's crazy.
They went Trumpy.
I mean, black women, though, they kind of stayed on... Black women always turn out for Democrats, and they've been one of the most reliable demographics. Yeah,
black women.
Yeah, black women.
The
for Democrats.
White women for Trump. I think that's super interesting, though.
It is.
I mean, I'm not. Yeah, but I just think
because he lost that vote in 2020.
But this time, dude,
he lost that vote in 2020. White women.
Yeah.
Interesting.
White women came out for Democrats.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
2016, dang, Trump's run 3 consecutive elections.
Yeah.
How often does that happen?
Very rarely.
Yeah.
That dude is a freaking fighter, man.
Trump's kind of a wild card, a little bit, right?
But he is a wild card.
Dude,
not a little bit.
Because like he does things that other politicians wouldn't do, right?
You need to do that if you want to be successful in politics. You gotta be the change maker.
Also, like, maybe opposites, but him and Mark Cuban are a lot alike, man.
Yes,
they're a lot. Just their personality.
I could be wrong.
Who would have won, Mark Cuban or Donald Trump? I've been thinking about this.
If Mark had a history of running, it could have been super close.
Dude, I agree. Mark is a straight shooter.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris should have relied on him more, in my opinion.
Yeah,
he did a good job.
Freaking mention him.
Yeah,
I don't even think she mentioned him.
No. She did a lot of events with him.
Did she?
Yeah, she actually.
with him?
Yeah, bro. Did a whole interview together. Yeah.
Did Mark
she campaigned
Cuban?
with him.
See, but why haven't I heard of this?
Yeah, they're terrible at messaging.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, that's a big thing. I should have heard of this, but I didn't. Yeah.
Kamala Harris's team was not good at messaging.
Yeah.
She didn't do the podcasts. She lost. She didn't do our Gen Z Speaks podcast.
I was going to ask you. Did Joe Rogan invite Kamala on?
Yes.
And she just refused?
No, she said yes.
She said yes, but there was a bunch of contingencies.
For example, Joe would have to fly out to their place and only do it for 1 hour. Trump just showed up and did 3 hours.
Yeah.
Why? Dude, you know what I found out recently, which is crazy? So Theo Vaughn and Joe Rogan were doing the podcast, and Theo said Kamala Harris is actually a figure skater.
Kamala Harris is a figure skater?
Yeah, people didn't know that.
How did I not know this? That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I would like to know. Yeah. Like, what the hell? That's super cool, bro.
That's insane.
People wouldn't find this stuff out if she,
I don't know anything about Kamala other than she came from a middle-class family. She worked at McDonald's. She was a California attorney general. And she has the ability to speak in 100 different accents. That's the only thing I know about Kamala Harris.
One thing I know about her, she talks about small businesses a lot. It's just funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it is funny, right?
No, it's just,
it was just lip service. She just mentioned key. It's like SEO, bro, on Google. Yeah. She was trying to put in all the terms. Gen Z. I love Gen
exactly.
Z. She was trying to run her campaign.
Dude, have you seen that movie, The Campaign, with Will Ferrell and then what's that one guy? Regardless, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
he's famous, but they're basically, have you seen that movie?
George Clooney?
Yeah. No, bro. It's called The Campaign with Will Ferrell, and they're running for senator.
Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis.
There
you go.
Was it Zach?
It's a short guy, right?
Yeah. It's Zach Galifianakis. Okay.
Your mic.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, okay. So it's Zach Galifianakis, Will Ferrell. And there's a message in there when Zach Galifianakis continued to... I don't think it was Zach, bro. I think it was somebody. It doesn't matter. It was the other guy. And there's a message in there. He's like, they are the backbone of this country. People, oil refinery people, they're the backbone of this country. Blah, blah is a backbone of this country, right? And it's this thing that politicians continue to do. But it draws so many parallels to Kamala's campaign. The accent thing, it's basically saying, hey, I stand with you. I am you. It's basically, I am you.
Bro, it is Zach Galifianakis.
Is it Zach?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice. I thought it was a different guy.
Dude, IRL, what's it called? What's that thing called that moderators do? Correction? Whatever?
Fact check?
Fact check.
Yeah, oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah.
In real life? IRL?
Yeah, IRL fact check.
Oh, fact check. Yeah.
He's a funny guy.
No, but that is a good movie, and that point you made is pretty funny.
It is.
A lot of politicians do that. It comes off as disingenuous.
Yeah,
right?
it does.
No, Kamala was an SEO search engine, bro. She was like, I love Gen Z.
See, and the problem with this also
By the way,
is
I just love Gen Z.
People draw conclusions. They draw a line between Kamala and Joe Biden, right? And it didn't feel like Joe was much there for the small businesses these last 4 years, right? And so why would people believe Kamala is? There's just no proof. You need proof.
What do you think? Oh, sorry.
They passed a lot of legislation. The CHIPS Act, Inflation Reduction
Act,
Infrastructure
anything good.
Law.
I haven't felt anything positive.
So see,
right?
that is something to note, that a lot of people, individually, families, did not feel like the Joe Biden administration
did anything.
Did a lot for them. Yeah, they didn't feel like their lives were personally affected, even though they did pass important legislation like the acts that I just mentioned. The bipartisan infrastructure that creates like a lot of like green energy jobs, so electric cars.
But like small business? No, I'm saying like small business wise.
It also does semiconductor stuff. I think CHIPS Act, but yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think majority of small business owners are dealing with semiconductors or like environmentally large thing, because it costs a lot of money to get in there, right? Mm-hmm. And there's big players already in it. It just doesn't feel like a local gym owner, a local warehouse owner. I think there's more of us than there are of those people, and I think we should feel it as well.
You know, as you said that, bro, now that I think about it, they actually passed a lot of legislation that would help the swing states.
That would help
Wisconsin, Michigan, because Michigan has been the auto industry's home for a long time.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, Michigan, what am I missing? Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
They did a lot.
Wasn't Pennsylvania the last one counted before it was over at that point? Like people knew.
Bro, I knew it was. I told you it was over when he won Florida by 14 points.
Yeah.
Come on.
You were saying it's not over yet.
Yeah,
Jenish honestly was the first one that said it's over. Jenish said it was over at like 4.
I knew the biggest red flag was a Florida count though. Yeah, because I always want to make sure when it's all the results are in, you can proclaim your president-elect.
Right.
You know.
Was it over or Jover?
Both. Yeah. But
once
Florida
the swings were at like 70%, then I was like, okay.
The biggest red flag was Florida though. 14 points.
Yeah, 14 points is crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I honestly, Trump really washed her. I know I said that a lot, but man, this was so bad for her.
It was. He won.
I was gonna ask you, since you just looked at the data, did Kamala get how much margin of an increase did she get in votes compared to Hillary Clinton? Because I want to compare.
No, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. Okay, she did worse.
So how? Okay, so do you think Kamala registers as less charismatic with voters than Hillary Clinton?
There's a draw between her and Joe. I think that's really what it comes down to.
Okay.
I've told you many times, I honestly think Kamala is a charming person. She is funny too. We just didn't get to see that side in this campaign.
I personally don't think she is.
I will say this. I think I'm more with you because here's the thing. Maybe my mind would change if, like you said, she did an interview and she wasn't so, what's the word, contingent on, like, made a bunch of contingents. It was so insincere. I think an authentic interview with less restrictions. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That'd be completely different. But that's not her. That's my thing. Trump doesn't have a problem whether he's in front of a camera, whether he's talking to Joe Rogan, whether he's in front of 100,000 people. It doesn't matter to Trump. That's just who he is. He's just going to be him. And Kamala doesn't have that. She puts on this face. And she's going to be this person either way. It doesn't matter whether I'm in front of 100,000 people or if I'm talking to Joe Rogan.
Dang, bro. Yeah.
I think what it comes down to is Donald Trump ran his campaign he was the leader. And he used his consultants to help him, not to guide him or lead him. Versus Kamala Harris, I think her consultants really led her, and she followed their lead. And I think a candidate who has to be a change maker has to lead from the 100%. Front. And I think the consultant just got into her head, do this, do that, say this word, say that word. And she should have just been herself. Unapologetically Kamala Harris.
There we go. Thank God, because that means she's not a leader. In my opinion, if you can't lead your campaign, you can't lead the country.
One thing people said was that when she lost, right, she told all of the people that were waiting for her victory speech, but would now presumably listen to her concession speech, right? She told an aide. She didn't even go herself or anything. She just told an aide to go out and tell everybody, oh, go home, you know? And I was thinking to myself, that's kind of unfair to them, right? Because they were standing there for hours, you know what I mean? They were waiting for you. They were coming there for you, and you're not going to pay them the respect of even going face-to-face to tell them to go home. You know what I mean? Or anything. So a lot of people in the comments were saying, oh, like, this is not what a leader would do. A leader, I would respect her a lot more. So one comment was like, oh, I'm a Trump supporter, but I would respect her a lot more if she failed with grace, you know? Like, she went out, and then she did some type of concession speech there. I understand one rebuttal might be, oh, but she didn't have a speech prepared for a concession speech because she was expecting to win. Okay, one, that shows arrogance. But two,
did she not have a concession speech?
No, well, clearly not, because not she yet. Did. She did, but not that night. Because she told everybody to go home, right? So that way they could do the concession speech the next day. So that's what happened. So it's like if she had
Donald didn't even concede the last election. Come on.
Okay, true. Yeah,
I don't blame her for that.
But one wrong doesn't make another right.
Right, sure, yeah.
But so 1 day later versus never? Come on.
No, but
that's a mountain's difference.
I just don't think you can compare it, right? Obviously, Trump's wrong. I'm not. Yeah. Trump was completely wrong for that.
You should.
It literally, he's trying to provoke Make America Great Again, as in the last person wasn't good. That's just not okay. Okay, but it doesn't mean she's right for not doing or doing what he said. If she does it the day later, that's fine. Yeah, but she should at least acknowledge the people that came out for her.
That's what I'm saying. I
agree with him.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying she had to make a speech that night. I'm just saying it would have been more like if I was a Kamala supporter.
Well, her campaign representative came out that day, and he was like,
bro, come on,
it's not the same thing as because
as a
people
leader, people do it.
Yeah, did people come out for her campaign representative or for her?
For her,
right?
Yeah,
so it's like I feel
I get what you guys are saying.
I'm saying, and from my perspective, it seemed a little disrespectful to the people that went out for her. That she didn't,
Bro, what? I was just 2 points. One, losing a presidential election result has got to be the worst defeat because it's the entire world watching.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's the entire and people are actually voting. It's like a popularity vote. Most people are saying, "I picked the other person. You're not good enough." Literally, that's what they're saying.
That's exactly what they're saying,
That's a good way of looking at it.
And her concession speech, I just had one qualm with it. I watched her concession speech, bro. They were playing a bunch of songs. Her campaign was before she went up. And guess the song that came on?
What?
Beyonce's song, Girls Run the World, came on. You know, who run the world? Girls. And I was like, even on your way out, you're trying to gaslight America?
That's crazy.
Because, Beyonce's right. Crazy. Girls do run the world, but not in America. Not the American presidency. Not yet.
Yo, in the Muslim world, we've had at least 12.
We've had, Pakistan's had a female prime minister.
I love the
India, Bangladesh.
Because I love how some people are saying that, those Muslims and Arabs, they didn't vote Democrats because they don't believe in a woman as president. First off, most of them voted for Jill Stein. So that's already kind of defeated, a mute point, because they voted for a woman.
I don't know what most Muslim people voted
most
for.
Arabs, they voted...
not in Dearborn, Michigan. Trump won.
Oh, shit.
And we talked about that.
He assumed that they were going to vote the other way, but
okay,
wrong,
but...
No. I said they would vote for either Trump or Dr. Jill Stein.
Yeah, but I'm saying basically the statement, Muslims or Arabs don't vote for women. That's not true. There's been 12 heads of states that have been female.
You know what?
Pakistan, Bhutto,
Yeah, she was... rest in peace.
Doesn't matter
I didn't like her.
It doesn't matter if you like her or dislike her. I'm just pointing out a fact that she.
By the way, they were the ones that made us Qadianis. They were the ones that made us non-Muslim under the Pakistani constitution. The Bhutto family.
Really?
Yeah, I'll never forget. I
do have a question off topic. Do you have an affinity for Pakistan? Don't say anything.
Here's the very interesting thing, right? Because here's the thing. Because I'm a human. Well, I don't know why you're laughing. No. But basically, I think for me it's very interesting, right? Because if Pakistan does bad things, like they've had a pretty, in my opinion, not so great foreign policy, But, if they do bad things, I criticize them. If they do good things, I'll praise them. And I kind of have that logic for pretty much anything. Yeah, know what I mean? I think it's better to look at life more objectively.
But they literally hate
No. Hear me out. I am hopeful for change on that, for sure. Yeah. But, in the time being, For one, I'm like a free Imran Khan guy because Imran Khan is illegally imprisoned by the Pakistani military, and an intercept document.
Bro, they cut everything.
No. An intercept document revealed, right, or at least made it pointed out.
Ryan
the very
Grimm's reporting,
very
reporter.
likely that the U.S. government pressured the Pakistani military as well as the Pakistani Congress into, ousting Imran Khan, and then afterwards, if he was still a threat, using political violence against him because he was getting diplomatically closer to Russia during a time where America's more polarized with Russia right now with Ukraine. I wish I was making that up, but it doesn't matter if you like or dislike Imran Khan. I have plenty of problems with him. But I'm saying free him because he doesn't deserve to be in jail just for being a popular guy.
Who likes Imran Khan? Donald Trump, bro.
Donald Trump.
He was talking about him last year.
Do you think he'll free him? I mean,
he was like, Khan, handsome guy. What a handsome guy.
Dude, actually,
cricket star.
Aren't they both really old, too? They're both in their 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trump's older.
Yeah.
So, but my question boils down to...
Am I a nationalist for Pakistan? No.
Okay.
But do I hope the best for Pakistan? I mean, I hope the best for everybody.
Buddy almost died.
Yeah.
And he still loves them more than America.
Dude. My parents are both Ahmadi, right?
Yeah.
They are huge Pakistani nationalists. Not only they brag about, bro, there's plenty of people that are screwed over by the U.S. government that love America. This is like a universal thing. This is a universal thing, homie, all right? People
your home is your home.
Your home. Yeah. People have an affinity for their home a lot of the times. You know what I mean? Like people that are refugees for very specific reasons, like fleeing genocides
don't know, bro.
and stuff. They'll be like waving that flag. They'll be tattooing that flag.
Okay, but there's
literal
people going to Ahmadi Muslim
houses,
mosques and murdering them. Yeah,
that happens.
Yes.
That happens. And
his
those,
dad was.
and
bro,
those,
this
no,
is
and
nuts.
those Ahmadis come here. And they paint the Pakistani flag. They'll face
and I can't
I'm not
comprehend
gonna do that.
Yeah.
I would not do that.
No, but I'm saying that they like Pakistan. That's what I'm saying.
And I just did. That's insane to me.
No, here's the thing, though.
What's the thing?
I think it's because it wasn't always like that to an extent. There were a lot of there was Ahmadi-specific militias in the Pakistani army for when it was, fighting with India the first time after the partition. If you remember that, yeah. So it's I think it's people probably still hold on to the memory because there was a time, however brief, where Ahmadis weren't specifically targeted and persecuted. I think that's an intergenerational thing. So it's the parents tell the kids tell their kids, and then it goes on for there. And like I said, bro, with America, with Mexico, with Canada, any country where people hate their government or they've hated their government the whole time, since the government existed, first independence, they can still be nationalists.
But I'm not. So my stance is when I became a citizen, right, I had two options.
Right.
I could either be dual citizen or I could be American. Right. I picked America.
Right.
Because I think loyalty to your nation is part of faith.
Also, you want to run for president one day? No, I'm kidding.
What's up?
I'm joking. They said you want to run for president one day?
No, the thing is, you should only I think you should only be a citizen of one country. I don't like when people have dual citizenships. It's what are you trying to do?
This weird thing.
So I was I had the option of becoming a Pakistani citizen and an American citizen. I was like, that doesn't make any sense because America gave me all the liberties and the other country didn't. So why would I be a dual citizen?
I agree with that more.
So that was my philosophy. But do I love my country?
But if you were British and then you came here, would you choose dual citizen? You'd still choose America.
No, I still choose America because why doesn't make any sense?
That makes less sense to me.
Huh?
That makes less sense to me than the Pakistani thing because the Pakistan they hate you. So of course, fuck them, right? But if
the British hated me too once upon a time.
Once upon a time, you get my point.
Yeah.
I think it makes more sense because now you're open to options. There's opportunities in both ways.
No, but I look at it. I'm really
I know, bro. Yeah. I know.
I want it to be American. If you're American, just be American.
Okay. I was gonna say I disagree with you guys on one thing about the dual citizenship thing. I can see that if it's someone's running for head of state, I can understand where the concern is coming from about dual allegiance, right? But apart from that, you're just a working class dude. I mean, if you want to pay taxes in two countries, go ahead, dude. You know what I mean? If you want to screw yourself over like that, do it. You know what I mean? I don't think people should be stopped for making a stupid decision if it just affects them, even if I disagree with it a lot. Because I do believe in freedom. I believe in personal freedom to an extent. I don't believe someone who wants to cough should cough in another person's face. But I do believe that if someone just wants to do something that's I wouldn't do it, right? But it just affects them specifically and not other people, I think they should do it. So if someone wants to have dual citizenship, but they're not running for public office, they're not running for the head of state specifically, right? I don't have a problem with them having dual citizenship.
He wouldn't be able to run for president either way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you need to be.
The
born
Constitution
here.
said you need to be naturalized.
Right.
So technically, in my opinion, the Supreme Court might disagree with me.
Okay.
Anybody who's naturalized is eligible to run for president. I think the whole born. It doesn't say anywhere in the Constitution you have to be born. It says you have to be naturalized.
Somebody, bro, there has to be some like grounding here, and I don't think there's much grounding yet with
in the Constitution.
Maybe your kids.
In the Constitution, it says you have to be naturalized, which I was naturalized. He was naturalized, right? Are you a citizen yet? Yeah. You were naturalized under the Constitution.
I don't know if that means naturalized, bro.
But that's what it basically means.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying, like, I don't like this.
No. Okay. Would you?
Because let's say a kid like let's say Russell wants to run for president, right? Like,
I vote for him. Look
Russell was.
Looks awesome.
How old were you? You were 10 years old when you came here, right?
Let's
you were
go.
11, so why
Let's
can't
go.
you run for president?
Russell's my president right now.
Your entire life. That doesn't make any sense. When you're 35 and you want to run for president, the Constitution is saying you can't run just because you weren't born here. That doesn't make any sense to me, in my opinion. That doesn't make it because you've lived most of your life here. Like your loyalty.
Yeah,
wait, while we're on topic, would you run? Would you run? Would you
for president?
If you could.
Bro,
if
I just want to pay my bills right. I'm not even thinking about the presidency, bro. I want to survive first.
I think the logic behind it is, bro, even though Russell is now a citizen of the U.S., he still has a lot of ties to the Philippines.
What ties does this guy have, bro? He has
his father's in the Philippines. What are you talking about?
Okay, sure.
His family is
family
there,
in other countries.
But I'm not saying Russell's a freaking terrorist or is going to do something bad. All I'm saying is there's other ties, there's other influence coming out of the United States that might not be in America's interest. My point is, I don't know if it's right, I don't know if it's wrong, but I get the logic.
I just get the logic. You're naturalized.
Okay. I just get the logic. Dual citizenship is okay.
Okay.
I think we're having 3 different conversations.
There we go.
It's fun.
Final thoughts. Go ahead, since you had all the points. Is there something you wanted to cover? That
oh
you didn't
yeah.
cover?
No, my dad told me to say, hope for the best. Don't go into something negative. So he said, this is my dad's thoughts, is that, all right, Donald Trump might be good. Yeah. So, we'll see. You just got to wait and see.
Might is the key word.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be cautiously optimistic. That's the word.
Yeah, so not so cynical.
Yeah, for sure. I told you, me and my dad are a little different because I'm more cynical. But for sure. What about you, man?
I think, God willing, things are going to be good. I always hope for the best.
Yeah.
That's it.
Can you say inshallah?
Inshallah.
Hell yeah.
He says it all the time.
I say it all the time. Yeah.
No, I said it first.
It just means God willing,
God willing. No, seriously, God willing. Seriously, I mean, a lot of things that Trump has said seem like good things, right? And I hope, God willing, they go through. Don't know if they will, probably won't. But if they do, great. That's it.
I'd say you should always pray for the country. Pray for the success of the president, even if you hate the guy. You should always pray for the country. I'm just scared, bro, because I've noticed this in my family and other communities and elsewhere. There's a big divide in America. When Donald Trump became president again, a lot of people were scared shitless. Even this time. I was seeing it in my social media, in my family. People were scared.
Yeah.
And then I felt a little out of place because I didn't feel scared.
Yeah.
Maybe because I think I know Donald Trump now. Genuinely. Maybe I still haven't met him.
But
I know this guy. I basically know him. I am basically Donald.
Sound like you live in Mar-a-Lago, bro. Sound like you live in Mar-a-Lago.
I should have met Mar-a-Lago.
I don't like either party, but if a good thing happens, I'll accept it.
Do you know how much money, by the way, he charges for Mar-a-Lago membership?
I have no idea.
$1 million.
A year?
Yes. You have to pay $1 million.
He sounded like him again. I'm telling you, bro. It's just like
$1 million. But I just want. I'm making actually a broader point where there's a big divide in this country about people who actually feel scared. Like I was having a conversation with somebody, and they actually feel scared as a woman, and I understand where they're coming from. I just think the media has painted Donald Trump as this guy, and Donald Trump is to blame for this as well. All the rhetoric that he says, bro, come on. It's not just the media's fault. It's also Donald Trump's fault. But I just think the situation of the country is such where people are in such different positions that I'm having a completely different experience than you or this person or that person. And that's something that scares me. Because if we're in such different paths and different positions, I don't know how we continue forward collectively. Because if we're living different realities and it's so polar opposite, like, it gives me cause for concern.
I think there has to be consensus that contributing members to society are going to be okay. I think that's what it boils down to. I don't think Border Patrol is going to go after these people that are actually paying taxes, actually have high-paying jobs, that are doing something for the country. They're involved in something in the community. I don't think they're going to go after these people.
If they're illegal, if we had more time,
I just don't think they're going to.
If we had more time, I would talk about that for an hour. Oh man.
Yeah, no. I just personally, my opinion, I don't think they're going to go after those people. I think they're going to go after the people that have, there's bad traces, right? There's bad traces. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you, brother.
One last thing. If you're running for president again in 2028, you have to come to the Gen Z Speaks podcast.
Yeah, it's non-negotiable.
If you want to win Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania,
if
you got to get through Gen Z Speaks.
Only if you want to win California, this is the place to be.
If you want to win Orange County, this is the place to be.
And if you come on the podcast, that means they endorse you. That we already agreed to
that. It does not mean we endorse you.
Who's this guy?
Put that on record. I had nothing to do with that assassination attempt once again.
I'm cutting that out.
I want to close on that.